All right. Hello. We'll get started in just a brief moment. Good. And thinking, let's start seated. I don't know about where y'all are, but it is so windy here. So if like the lights or internet go out part of the way through this, I wouldn't be surprised. You are forewarned. All right, reach both of you. Well, let's start grounded. So get your hands on your knees and take a moment to feel your own body underneath you. So press down and lift up. By putting your hands on your own body somewhere, you're kind of linking your hands into the foundation of the shape. So press down into your hips, into your hands, and lift up long through your sides and through the top of your head. Slow your breathing down so that you can distribute the energy of your breath evenly throughout your body. Exhale your old air out. Breathe in slowly through your nose. Hold it in at the top. Open your mouth. Very good. Grab a block, grab a book, grab a whatever is out in front of you, stick it out in front of you, and you're going to lean forward from your hips. All right. Reach your arms forward, drop your head down, take a big breath in. Stay for your exhale. We'll be here for about 5 breaths leaned onto your prop like this. Have your prop at a level that the intensity of the stretch is not too much. You want to be able to breathe into it and successively relax your muscles rather than run into resistance and freeze there. Take one more breath in. Exhale, slowly hinge up. Take your hands to your hip crease and feel your hip crease muscles. And now you know that that's about where you went when you were chilling in your stretch. See how close you get repping it, right? So lean forward and come back up a few times. When you lean forward, your hips will want to shift. Keep your hips down and back so that they're an anchor point as you go forward and up. Good. Come on up. Take your hands out behind you with your fingers out to the sides. Plant your hands to the ground. If you have, I've got a carpet behind me that I'm holding onto. You can just spread your palms isometrically on the ground. Roll your chest open, lift your chest up, lift your chin up slightly, or you can sort of isometrically rip your mat or a carpet or something behind you like a yoga strap. Keep the same shoulder position, just drop your chin down to your chest. And then slide yourself back vertical in your spine. Inhale your arms up. Exhale your right arm over to the ground and your left arm by your ear. Drop your right ear toward your right shoulder. Make a long arching shape with your left side. Notice here that your left hip will want to come up off of the ground. Keep it as an anchor point. Inhale up. Switch sides on your exhale. Good. Inhale up. Exhale, cactus your arms, elbows down to the line of your shoulder. Rotate the bottom of your arms under and your pinky fingers back. And you're going to keep your elbows up in line with your shoulders and roll your fingertips forward and your elbows up and roll your fingertips back and the bottom of your arms forward a few times. Stack your forearms like I Dream of Jeannie. You can slide pretty far and push them into each other and then slide them even more forward. That will round your back. Let your back be rounded when you do that. And keep that pressure. Good. Inhale, open your arms wide, back to that fingers outside, isometrically engaged position. Roll your chest open. Pull your shoulder blades together. Inhale, lift both arms up. Exhale, take the opposite arm on top. Push into each other and slide your arms forward. Let your upper back round. Good. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, plant your right hand behind you. Grab your right knee with your left hand. We'll lift your spine up nice and straight. Twist and look over your right shoulder. For the next couple of breaths, drop your left ear down to your left shoulder to get an extra little stretch in your right side neck. Good. Stack it back up. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, twist to the left. Your left hand goes behind you. Your right arm goes across. Look over your left shoulder. Keep your spine nice and straight. And for the next breath or two, drop your right ear down to your right shoulder. Let your left side neck stretch. Very good. Inhale, both arms up to the center. Exhale, cartwheel your hands to the left, and then bring your knees underneath you so that you're in tabletop position. Send your arms out in front of you. Drop your chest down, drop your head down. Puppy pose. Take a big breath in. And a big breath out. Slide your hands back underneath your shoulders, round your spine. Cat, tuck your tailbone down, lift your belly button up, round your neck. Walk yourself back forward, puppy pose. Get your arms really long. Try to think of your arms as an extension of your rib cage, and your rib cage as originating from the top of your hip crest or your hip crease even. Keep your hands flat on the ground and extended into that puppy shape. Just round your upper back like cat. Drop your head down through your arms, tuck your chin even more. So instead of being in a big thoracic extension here, now you are integrating your arms into your back body more. Take a breath in. On your exhale, melt your chest back down into that spinal extension where you're pulling your shoulder blades together and you're putting space between your ribs in the front, and we'll go back and forth between those two shapes a couple of times. So scoop your tailbone underneath you, lift your chest up, drop your head through your arms for puppy. This is like, let's say it's active puppy instead of melty, soupy, stretchy puppy. So something to note here is you really want the pressure in the base of your index finger, middle finger, and thumb, not in your pinky finger. For both of these poses, go ahead and drop it back down. Stretchy puppy. Tuck your tailbone underneath you. Active puppy. Last time down, stretching. And sit your hips back to your heels, child's pose. Let your arms relax. All right, bring it forward onto your belly with your elbows underneath your shoulders. Drop your hips down. Sphinx pose. And now, so let's say before you were warming up your shoulders and your thoracic spine. So now let's put it like dead center in your core. So elbows down, chest up, Sphinx pose on your inhale. On your exhale, you'll push your knees into the ground, scoop your tailbone down, and lift your hips up. I see a lot of people go up and back, and then they end in this like long tabletop-y shape. And you know what? You're still working kind of hard there, but it's better if you get it longer arching, right? So Sphinx pose, drop your hips, lift your gaze, breathe in. Exhale, scoop your tailbone underneath you, lift your belly button up, lift your shoulders up, lift your chest up. Hips down, gaze up, inhale. Exhale, knees drive down, lift your hips up, scoop your tailbone down. We'll do that another couple times. Inhale, Sphinx. Exhale, Sphinx core. Hold at the top, Sphinx core. And slowly lower your hips down to the ground. Good. Move one palm back, move the other palm back. You're in cobra. Zip your legs up together underneath you. Roll your shoulders on your back. Engage your legs and your butt muscles and feel this in your upper back and in your arms, hugging in around your rib cage so that your lats turn on. Your lats are those big broad muscles in the outside of your ribs. That's where you want to feel the back of your arms, your triceps, and your lats squeezing together on purpose. Exhale, lower your upper body down. Move your palms at least as wide as your mat, maybe even a little bit outside of your mat, and then tent up onto the tips of your fingers. Even just that might feel like a nice stretch. If that's the case and you want to hang out there, you're welcome to. Otherwise, engage your legs and lift your upper body up one level like you're coming up to cobra. Then take an inhale. Keep your lift. On your exhale, rotate your right arm in, wing your right elbow out, and look to the left. You're going to stretch in your right shoulder, maybe in your right side neck. You can come up higher or stay lower, up to you, where it feels right. Exhale to the middle, lower all the way. Neutralize the position of your hands. Then inhale, lift up. Exhale, rotate your left fingertips in, your left elbow out. Feel around for a height that works for the best stretch for you. Good. Bring it back to neutral. Release your upper body down. Press back child's pose. Hold and breathe. Roll yourself forward, tabletop position. From tabletop position, knock your knees together and bring your feet out wide, so mat width distance or somewhere along there. You're going to be limited by your personal internal rotation at the hip. So do what you can do that makes you feel like you're squeezing in or at your inner thighs, sort of, without pinching at your hips. Press down through your hands, float your knees up 1 inch off of the ground and hold. Keep squeezing your knees together. And exhale your knees down, toes together. Open your knees wide. And go ahead and sit your hips back to your heels, toes with your toes untucked. Bring your hands behind you and start to lean back until you get a stretch in the front of your legs. It's kind of similar with that seated position. If you want to grab a hold of something and rip it apart to help roll your shoulders open, that might give you a little bit more integration of your chest in the front of your body into the shape. But just stop where you feel the beginning of a stretch. Good. Bring it forward. Tabletop position. Slide your left knee underneath your left hip and wing your leg behind you. So this foot is not pointing toward the, my left toes are not pointing backward. They're not pointing toward the back edge of my mat. They're pointing all the way behind me toward my back. All right, you need that little bit of extra perpendicular energy to balance. Push your hips forward, lean your upper back slightly, get a stretch through your side. You might feel it in your low back, you might feel it in your inner thigh or your outer hip. Take your top arm up if that feels good. Let your ear go down to your shoulder if that feels good or not. Don't have to. Take a big breath in with, if you haven't reached your right arm up, go ahead and reach it up. On your exhale, you'll keep your leg where it is, but from the waist up, wrap your upper body down, and then slowly stack yourself back up. Wrap it down on your exhale. On your inhale, stack. One more time. And inhale up. Exhale, ground your right hand down, step your right foot forward. You're in a low lunge, bump your left leg further back if you can. If not, just stay where you landed. Let your head go. And scoop your tailbone underneath you to mitigate any excessive low back curvature. So if you tend to be in a sway back regularly, you might want to scoop your tailbone down to activate your deep core so that you're in a more neutral spinal position. Good, bring your hands to the top of your right thigh, and this is where everyone can use a little bit of that tailbone scoopage, right? Feel your hamstring turn on a little bit more in your right leg, feel your hip flexors turn on a little more in your right leg. Turn on your left outer hip more, hold with your left hand, all right? Reach your right arm straight up. Breathe in, get long through your side. On your exhale, reach your right arm back with your thumb up toward the ceiling. Lead with your ribs for the twist. It's almost like the back of this hand is pushing backward and this hand is pulling your leg that way so that you're twisting with those various pieces of the shape. But really it's happening from your core. Inhale your right arm up into the inside of your right leg. You're going to pivot to the left and take your toes with you. And then slide your right leg out to the right. Sit your hips back to your left heel. And then drop your upper body down until you feel a stretch in your right inner thigh. Bring your hands back underneath you and bring your shoulders forward a little bit of your hips. Then turn yourself back forward over your right leg. Frame your right leg with your hands, half split with a twist. And I would recommend that if you have a prop handy, I think the half split twist is a little bit nicer with a block underneath your, in this instance, left side hand, even high. All right. What's happening here is you're sort of corkscrewing your hips, right hip back, left hip forward, so that you are achieving a more neutral pelvis. Because this shape is going to want to take you out of a neutral pelvis. All right. Roll your shoulders open. Lean your upper body back a little bit. If you want your arm into it, you can. Good. Exhale. Soften the shape. Step your right leg back behind you. Lower yourself down onto your belly. Sphinx core. After you get into actual Sphinx pose, take a second to breathe in. On your exhale, lift your hips up and hold, stabilize. Pull everything that you just stretched back into midline and into your center, your core from the top to the bottom and your core from the left to the right and from the front to the back. And exhale, lower your hips down. I don't know about you, but after doing, a good amount of core waking up like we have up till now in class, getting into Sphinx pose is a much different feeling this time than it was the first time. All right, you're gonna take your right arm at a diagonal. So you're gonna kind of karate chop your right fingertips over to the top left corner of your mat, palm flat or thumbs up, doesn't matter, super lot, whatever way you feel the most stable. And then you're gonna take your left fingertips and kind of prop yourself up just like you did on that cobra, that one cobra shape. You'll lean a little bit to the right, try to keep as much of your left quad down as you can and bend your left knee. Then reach back for your left ankle. You can grab inside or outside, just make sure it's comfortable on your shoulder from here. You can kick into it and lift up taller, or you can pull your heel to your butt and get more of a quad stretch. I'm going quad stretch today. Either way, try to keep the front of that left hip down. It's going to want to pop up. If it pops up, then you still get maybe a stretch, but it won't be as integrated of a stretch. This could be a stretch all the way from your ribs down to your knee, or could just be in the quad itself. And slowly release on your exhale. Take a breath in. Exhale, press up, tabletop position. Slide your both of your knees underneath you, then kickstand your right leg out behind you. Slide your left leg long, modified side plank. Push your hips forward, lean your upper body back. For the next couple breaths, you got free will with that left arm. Breathe in, reach your left arm up. Exhale from the waist up, round and scoop your spine underneath you. Then inhale, stack it back up, follow your hand with your gaze. Exhale, round it, take your lats, your ribs, your shoulder width. Inhale up, exhale under. Inhale up. Exhale, plant your left hand, step your left foot forward. Low lunge. Adjust your back leg as needed. Let your head hang, scoop your tailbone as much as needed. Good, bring your hands to the top of your left leg. Press down, everybody do. Scoop your tailbone down a little bit. Keep holding with your right hand. Lift your left arm straight forward, straight up on your inhale, and then open back. What kind of noise was that for a cat to make? Weird. Do you buzz now? Sorry to sound judgy, but that was just weird, Siri. Inhale up with your left arm, bring your left arm to the inside of your left leg, quarter turn to the long right edge of your mat, extend your left leg long, inhale, and then exhale. You can sit yourself as low as feels good so that you can get a stretch through your left inner thigh. Bring your hands underneath you and your shoulders a little forward. Rotate and frame your left leg. You're working toward your half split on the left side. Maybe take your right hand to your block on your inhale. Get your spine in a nice neutral shape. And then twist. Left hip back, right hip forward. To stabilize and neutralize your pelvis. Very good. Exhale. Soften the shape. Bring it back to the ground with your left leg back behind you. Lower down to your forearms and onto your belly. Oh, here she comes with the, yep. Here she comes with the shoelace. Very good, Siri. Okay, Sphinx core. Push your elbows down, push your knees down, lift your hips up, hold and breathe. Exhale your hips to the ground. This time your left arm will go across to the top right corner of your mat. Bend your right knee, reach back, catch a hold of your leg, and either kick into it or lower down slowly. Pull your heel in more or as much as you need to in order to feel a stretch. Release your right leg. Take a big breath in. Exhale, sit back. Child's pose. From child's pose, come forward onto your forearms. Interlace your fingers. Press the outside of your forearms into the ground. Then tuck your toes and lift your hips up high. For dolphin, push your chest back toward your thighs, and you're just working to integrate your arms into your sides and your back. Exhale your knees down. Child's pose, we'll do that once or twice more. Lean forward onto your forearms, interlace your fingers, drive the outside of your elbows, forearms, and wrists into the ground with your toes tucked, lift your hips up. Slide your forearms forward, push your chest back, look back or look forward. Up to you. Exhale your knees down, sit back, child's pose. Last time, come on forward. And up. And exhale, drop your knees to the ground. Go ahead and have your toes tucked and spreading wide, and then sit all the way back. Toes together, and then spread them apart as wide as you can. Notice if any of them are collapsing, like you know that it's like your toes have a pretty complicated structure. They have knuckles and joints and everything, so they can kind of get away with things. But ultimately, where your toe meets your foot is a hinge. So if your little toes are twisting and you're causing your ankles to collapse, then that is not the most optimal, right, shape those joints could be making. And you put your joints in a compromised shape, which might not feel bad at this moment, but you also lose out on a stretch through the plantar fasciitis and through your toes and everything. So make sure you try to get the alignment in your toes okay. I can sit like this fairly long time. I'm gonna come out of it though. I could use like a tiny little break. So come on forward, unleash your toes from being flexed and sit back on them. Open your knees wide and lean back again. Maybe this time you can go back more. Now I'm going back that way and there's nothing there. I could shift slightly, turn it around. I have a prop I could use, but I'm not going to show you that because not everybody has one. But everybody has a wall or a couch or something. All right, so I could just lean back this way. I want more stretch, so I'm going to lean back further. Your knees are hinge joint. They don't brook any left to right movement. They just open and close. So make sure when you're going in and out of closed knee, open knee positions that you're taking that very seriously, because you only have, your knees and then maybe 1 or 2 knee replacements in a lifetime before they can't replace your knees anymore. All right, knees together. Tuck your toes underneath you, sit back again, heels together, toes spreading wide. Engage your glutes, engage your inner thighs. Good. Come on all the way up to your knees and untuck your toes. Take your hands to your low back. Push your hips forward, roll your shoulders open, drop your head back. Try to keep everything mostly vertical in the front of your body, and you're just going for open chest to throat. Come on up, set your hips down, relax. Shift, kick one leg out, and then take the ankle of your other leg over the top, just above the knee to begin with. Figure four is the shape that most people would associate with this, but it doesn't, in figure four, your ankle is like dogmatically flexed, right? And we're gonna do bone saw, and for bone saw, you want your malleolus bone, that round big bone on the outside, to get as much grip in the muscle in the top of your leg as you can get with it. So if you need to point or roll your ankle in order to accomplish more bone to thigh meat, then do that. So you're going to take your shin bone and your ankle bone on your right leg, and you're going to just slowly push some muscles around, and then you're going to pull some muscles, and then when it feels really nasty, you'll stop for a second. You'll take a big breath in, and then you'll exhale and force your left leg to relax, because mind over matter. So it's like a gentle forcing. If you can be gentle and forceful at the same time, do that. And then drag it a little more to the right so that the muscle comes away from the big IT band over there. And maybe you even drag the bone through some fibers of muscles so they get some space between them too, or between your outside quad and your middle quad. You can find that like little line where the two muscles are not actually the same muscle. And then when you kind of loosened that up a little bit, slowly push it out to the side. Get a hold of some more. Start from the IT band and pull back to the right. When it gets gnarly, hang out. Relax. Let the bone go deeper toward the bone. Roll that ankle around a little bit. That's good stuff. Pull slowly to the middle. Good. Do I hear a possum crunching? All right, push your right leg one last time. So if you've noticed, I started way down at the knee, and I kind of bent this knee and brought my ankle up more toward my hip. So I'm going to do that one final time. You got about 3 or 4 of those, depending on how much flexibility you have. All right, like 3 or 4 from the knee up to the hip. I could probably get one more in, but I know not everybody can, so we'll just do this one last round of quad torture. Good. And take your fingers, slide them in between the toes. So you've got your left hand gripping your right foot, and you can squeeze and bend and wiggle several times to open up the skin and the muscle in the top of your foot, and massage a little bit the bottom of your foot. You can twist a little bit because your foot's supposed to twist. Take your fingers to really anywhere. So let's go let's take your thumbs to up top and the back of your right calf muscle and sort of massage from the inside to the outside and then down, and roll your ankle a couple times. And then you'll go about midway down to where the calf muscle tapers off, and you'll feel kind of there's a gnarly point back there where it is the bottom of the calf muscle and the top of the other muscle. There's a lot of fascia. You're gonna stick your thumb, one of your thumbs up in there, push a little bit to the outside, roll your ankle, pull a little to the inside, roll your ankle, move a little bit down, do it again, push a little to the outside, roll your ankle around, pull a little to the inside, roll your ankle around, and do that all the way down successively over your Achilles tendon. Theoretically, depending on how often you do this, it might feel kind of gnarly. And we're not going to do that for all of this, but you can do that all on this muscle on the outside of your shin and all on this muscle on the inside of your shin as well. Same thing. So if you're tight in there, get your fingers in there. Well, we can do it. Let's just do this one. That way you have a paradigm for it. For this one, you need the very tips of your fingers in between the bone and the muscle, and then push in, roll your ankle, move down a little bit, push in. You might be able to pull a little out to the side, roll your ankle, push in, pull a little out to the side, roll your ankle. It's starting to feel gross in there. You might want to pull across. You'll feel like I can't tell you the directions in which your own body is the tightest, and the skin and the muscles here are the tightest, but you'll feel it. You'll know. So if I'm telling you something the direct opposite of your own intuition, just follow your intuition instead. But I'm normally fairly close for most people because there's like patterns that most people's body adhere to roughly. Okay, that's that side and done. Now, left leg bone saw. Left ankle bone up and over into the low quad to the outside so you can get a hold of the muscle with your ankle bone, and then push to the outside, pull to the inside. When it feels gnarly, hang out, breathe, and soften. Sometimes leaning forward, you'll get more pressure, and that can be a good thing, or it can be too much. All right. Push to the outside, pull to the middle. I can feel this referring all the way through my hip and into my back because my quad is tight enough to be throwing off my back being optimal. All right, one more time, push a little bit to the right, pull back to middle. This is sort of basically the same thing that your foam rollers are trying to accomplish. So you can totally do this similarly with the foam roller, but most people use the foam roller very poorly and ineffectively. So sure, it feels good to roll up and down your muscles, kind of, but this is what you're trying to do. You're trying to like pull across and separate and create pressure waves that melt adhesions, etc. If you don't know what those words are, you have a body, it's probably worth you knowing what those words are. So we're at minute 51-ish of this yoga dojo, or this Den Dojo. So if you want to look those words up later on, go for it. All right. Fingers, finger toe socks. With your left foot, roll the ankle around, both directions, up and down. Twist the foot. Squeeze your toes against your fingers, and then relax, contract, relax. Put your thumb at the base of the big toe. Create some bend and some separation, some muscle displacement there. Stretch the top of your foot. All right, and then take your thumbs to the top of your calf muscle. Roll your ankle around. Ooh, lovely. And then follow down to the base of the calf muscle. Maybe you're pushing to the outside and rolling. Maybe you're pulling to the inside and rolling. Just work your way from that top of that tendon down basically to your heel. Oh boy. All right, and then we'll do fingertips up in the top of your shin, outer shin. All right, and then maybe pull or push outside a little bit, maybe pull across the bone. Maybe pull across the bone, hold it, and then go down a level, roll your ankle. All right. What was I gonna do? I had an idea. Oh, I guess feet together. So if you have a couch, you can use the couch as a prop. If you have a prop, you can use the prop as a prop. All right, prop. Block to feet and head to block. Any level. Or lean forward to the couch. Come on up, kick your right leg out to the right, left foot to the inner thigh, turn your belly button over your right leg and hinge forward. You can keep your block if you want to. and so that you have something to put your head on. If your head reaches your leg, great. I personally don't fuss too much with this straight leg, and I go for the stretch in the opposite side back. Come on up. Keep your left leg bent, and you can go straight down the middle with the one leg bent. You can cross your right leg in front of your left leg and go straight down the middle. Prop if you want it, or if you want you might not be able to do this depending on what your hips do, okay? More would be to take this left leg and slide your heel away from your hips and make sure it ends up over to the right a little bit. And then you'll take your right leg, figure four, that ankle up and over, and most people are gonna end up with an insurmountable gap between the top knee and the bottom leg. But in theory, this ankle is flexed and you lean forward and you get a really big stretch in your right hip as you drop this knee down. Good. Come on up. Kick your left leg out, bring your right foot into the inner thigh of your left leg. Lean yourself forward over your right leg on your inhale. On your exhale, you can pick a level that works for you to hang out and get a stretch. You can, if you're feeling it in your left leg, wonderful. But also, if you're feeling it in your outer right low back, also good. Good, come on up. You're either going straight down the middle, bend your left leg in front of your right leg, or set up for fire logs with your right leg on the bottom and your left leg on the top. You want your shins parallel to each other stacked. That's why they call it fire logs. Very good. Come on up. And take a moment to lay on your back for Shavasana. As it feels good, you can make your way from Shavasana back up to a comfortable seat. And put your hands back somewhere comfortable. Scan back through, notice any shifts and changes. And then hold on to something that feels good. One of those shifts and changes that landed positively. Everything else, including your practice, will let go with a cleansing breath. Exhale everything out. Breathe in deeply, hold it in at the top. Open up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Very good. See you in the den. Thank you for joining.